Jalaluddin Nizamudin, and my metric number is 2677780. So I will be explaining about the political, economic, legal, and technological environment. So firstly is political environment. India is among the biggest and most powerful country in the world. With a resident of over 1.5 billion people staying in that country, it's certainly the world's biggest nation. So due to the country's democratic election structure, this country has been maintained and can keep the stable political environment. So this balance has contributed a lot in the FDI of that country. India also has been one of the leaders among the FAARC nations. So because of it, imposing such a population, which of course provide a lucrative market for industrialized country, and also due to a mature political leadership, and they are rapidly growing in economic revenues, we can say that it is safe for investors to deal in that country. Secondly is economic environment. So the increasing of GDP of that country promises growth opportunities for the businesses, and this increasing also have result in their economic growth, and which also has helped in reducing poverty in that country. So the taxation policies applied in that country have also been favorable for businesses who want to expand their business in India. That is the legal environment. As one of the most active democratic nations, of course, India also must adhere to their common regulation system, and they also have a proper constitution and set of legal guidelines, same as any other countries. So, firstly, the company must abide by the rules and law exclusive to each country of that region that they want to operate. And however, with a purpose to conduct business in India, the Companies Act of 2013 regulates the country agencies and corporations. There also have been quite a few legal guidelines and rules in the vicinity of numerous problems that affect every one of the employees in that nation. And some of the most famous concerns consist of their payment of bonus act and or the maternity benefit of their employees. Lastly is the technological environment. As we all know, India for the past few years, India has made technological and monetary development advances, and India technology industry has been steadily growing. So the country has one of the most robust IT sector that have been constantly software upgradation and advancement. So due to this result, more and more foreign tech companies are investing in India thanks to the technological advancement of India, such as Microsoft and Google.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Izzal Luqman bin Ahmad Nasaruddin, and my metric number is 272272. The part I would like to present in my presentation is the Indian government influence on trade, where a variety of variables influence international trade, including government policies in particular. Economic policy in general may have an impact on international business. Trade policies and regulations have immediate impact on trade, while government try to boost exports, protectionism and trade obstacles often stifles import. The first part of the government influence on trade is economic rationales, where the economic rationale is the basis of why the government of India fundamentals reason for something. India's government established a strategy that would achieve projected economic growth in an acceptable manner while also being compatible with the country's current conditions. If the government does not intervene in trade, low per capita income, a large proportion of the population employed in the primary sector, a growth in population, severe unemployment and underemployment, low rate capital of formation, unequal dispersal of income and wealth in money literacy, poor human resource quality, and many other issues will arise. Next part is the non-economic rationales, where it does not involve any economic factor. Non-economic rationales for governmental interventions are maintaining essential industries, extensions of sphere of influence, prevention of shipment to unfriendly country, and also protecting the activities that help preserve the national identity. Now we move on to the next part of the presentation, which are the instrument of trade control, where the government of India made a limitation on international business, which are known as trade barriers. While trade restrictions are harmful to the economy and impair an overall efficiency, there are two sections of instruments of trade, and the first section is trade tariff barriers, where tariff is tax on items being exported or imported. In a nutshell, it is most known as import tariff, which are charged at the moment products are being imported. India imposed a 10% social welfare surcharge on imports with the assumption of selected items exempted by official customs notifications. India applies a fee on the value of other charges, lowering the amount collected. All imports items are subject to a 1% landing charge unless they are exempted by separate notice. In addition, India has raised tariff on two major classes of items as part of the campaign, which are labor-intensive products and electronics and communication equipments, such as mobile phones, TV, and related parts of the components. The second instrument of trade barrier is non-tariff barrier, where several non-tariff restrictions may apply to imports entering India, including the first one is licensing, then is labeling, packaging, and sanitary, and also many more. Labeling and packaging, where various domestic legislations such as the Food Safety and Standards Act 2006 as well as the Legal Metrology Rules 2011 may impose labeling and packaging restrictions on import. In addition, quotas are also sanctioned by the Government of India. Import may be restricted by quotas. India has set import limitations on marble and other comparable stones. To make sure importers follow the rules, all who are related to follow the laws on related items required to get a Bureau of India Standards license to use the standard mark on the item import.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Anatul Shamita Amnan and my matric number is 267924. So I will talk about the cross-national cooperation and agreement. So the country of India has reformed cross-national cooperation with several countries, including the Afghanistan, Bhutan, Chile, and ASEAN country. This is because cooperation with country will help India to enhance the business and capital supply from other countries. India has signed as WTO members in January 1995 and as a member GATT in July 1948. The Indian government has started the program that helps to reform economic in 1991. This reformation could help to widespread the economy of the country in manufacturing, despite reduction and average tariff rate, import licensing restriction, and industrial licensing. On April 1998, the Government of India has prepared a policy statement and WTO Secretariat report which consult the policy and trade measures affecting import, export, and production in the country. When the reformation made by the government success, India has sealed an agreement with many countries. The major bilateral and regional agreement that has implemented and signed by India are Asia-Pacific Trade Agreement, India-ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement, Global System of Trade Preferences, India, Brazil, and South Africa, South Asia Free Trade Agreement, Indo-Sri Lanka Free Trade Agreement, Indo-Malaysia Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, India-Singapore Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, Japan-India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, and India-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. India and Malaysia has declared an agreement under the Malaysia-India Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement MICECA. The agreement has signed in 18 February 2011 and begins to implement on 1st July 2011. The purpose of this agreement is to cover the trade on goods, investment, services, and movement of persons. India and United States has not implemented any agreement between both parties. This is because United States claim that India has no longer met their criteria according to general system of preferences. The US decision to terminate India to export goods in US has given a big impact to India in pharmaceuticals, textiles, and automotive questions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Rizkullah Muhammad Dafa. My number metric is 2747793. I will explain about direct investment and collaborative policy in India. During the 1980s, India official policy on foreign collaboration and foreign direct investment, which had been highly restrictive during the 1970s, was significantly liberalized. This adjustment was made without modifying the FERA. The liberalization has resulted in a massive increase in the number of permit, foreign partnership, foreign investment incorporation agreement, and net FDI entry into India. During the 1980s, the United States, followed by the Federal Republic of Germany, the United Kingdom, and Japan remained the most important foreign investor in India, as they had been in the 1970s. However, in the late 1980s, the source of foreign investment in India became more diverse. Although the initial goals of the FDI policy liberalization in the 1980s was to improve export performance and overall competitiveness. The second is FDI increase in India. In 1997, 15.8 billion in FDI was approved, compared to $0.3 billion in 1991. Net FDI involved were barely to $0.074 in 1991, rising to $3.6 billion in 1997, but then dropping to $2.9 billion in 1998. After 1991, foreign investment grew at the rapid pace from 1981 to 1990. FDI increased by 23% per year, increased to 44% per year from 1991 to 2001. In 1991, only 0.1 billion of foreign capital was invested compared by 4.28 billion in 2001. In 1998, this ratio was 2.5%, which has notably lower than most other Asian countries. In many other post-reform economies, FDI is shown to expand greatly when the public sector in privacy on the big scale. The last one is during the COVID-19 pandemic. India continued to attract larger investment as seen by the 22 billion in direct investment routed in India. About 90-80% of which came via the automatic route, indicating the lack of concentration in FDI movement. India is of doing business has risen 79 place in the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index, and it is anticipated to reach the top 50 by the end of.
Assalamualaikum and hi, I'm Nur Fatin Syafiqah binti Muhammad Zoki 267962. So I will continue my part, which is strategic alliances and network works in India. Most business use strategic alliances to introduce their product faster and more widely in many areas. It is well known that firm can reap many benefits through strategic alliances. India is also not left behind. Many foreign firms want to do a strategic alliances with them to develop the product. Among the foreign companies that successfully collaborated in India are ICICI Bank and Vodafone India. In November 2012, both CEO of ICICI Bank and Vodafone India announced a strategic alliances between them to launch a unique mobile money transfer and payment called M-Pesa. Their relationship successfully utilized the assets of Vodafone extensive distribution network and ICICI Bank protections of banking services. These activities are considered more accessible by a large network of authorized agents who can deposit and accept money from the user's account. This collaboration effectively provides last-mile connectivity in remote places by simplifying banking transactions at such agent locations. Next, Etihad Airways and Jet Airways. Jet Airways has announced a strategic equity alliances with Etihad Airways and Abu Dhabi-based airlines, highlighting the first foreign aviation industry invest in India transport mechanism since foreign direct investment policy was changed. According to the two airlines, their partnership will allow Indian travelers from 23 cities to travel directly to the extended worldwide network. And according to the announcement, the new India, Abu Dhabi, and Jet Airways services will provide a Gulf entrance for flight to the United States, Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. With the United Global Worldwide Network covering more than 140 destinations. The strategic collaboration would increase traffic, consistency, and income at metro airport and smaller Indian airport authority facilities, as well as provide a substantial benefit to the Indian economy.
Okay, Assalamualaikum dokter. My name is Firdaus Muhammad Juan Fernando. My metric number is 274,859. And right now I want to explain about my part. And my part is the international marketing policies. One of the international marketing policies in India is the EXIM policy. So India EXIM policy refers to the various policy decision made by the government in the area of international commerce, import and export from and to the country. In simple terms, the central government declare the scopes of export promotion policies and process in relation to trade policy. Foreign trade policy is the name given to EXIM policy. Its goals are to increase export potential, improve export performance, and encourage international trade. So let's go to the main objective of EXIM policy. So the main objective of EXIM policy is to stimulate economic growth by making crucial raw materials, intermediaries, and other production-related goods more accessible. And second, to improve the efficiency of Indian agriculture, industry, and services, and therefore their competitiveness. The third is that to generate the new job opportunities. And the last, to provide high quality goods at economical pricing. So in the import and export of goods from India and to India, the EXIM policy is extremely important. It was created to make transaction easier and improve India economic situation. Okay, next slide. Ex Exim Bank of India. So the Exim Bank was established on 1st January 1982 to take over the businesses of the IDBI's Global Finance Branch and to provide monetary support to importers and exporters, as well as to serve as a primary financial foundation for collaborating the operation of other organizations involved in the financing of product and services import and export. Exim Bank had section wealth of 200 rupees and paid up asset of 100 rupees crores, both of which are fully backed by the central government.
In conclusion, cooperation within country is not implemented only to developed or developing country. However, emerging country like India has no less in contributing their service in export and import. Apart from that, agreement is crucial to meet as it will determine the trustworthiness and helping both parties to obtain maximum cross-national cooperation. In these matters, the authorities needs to pay attention in many aspects to avoid redundancy and violate in political, economic, legal, and technology. As a result, the country involved can ensure the objective can be achieved in every process with maximum cooperation and minimum errors. Thank you.